Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Self-Love Talks. I cannot see any of you. I'm going to just say right now, this is all about attachment to outcomes, feeling deluded, depending on others for your happiness or to get the life or the result that you want. And absolutely classically, as I'm doing this tonight on Self-Love Talks, I can't connect to the internet. It's being super mega slow, and there was just like one little thing after another, and in the end I've just gone, hey, you know what, forget it, I'll do it on my phone. So classic, isn't it classic? A total representation of exactly what I was going to share tonight with all of you. So thanks for being here. Love you all. It's been an incredible time. And from what I've gathered from all of your messages and the questions that I get from people, it seems like a lot of people are either waiting for the COVID situation to be over, thinking that once they get the vaccine that everything's going to be fine and life will go back to normal, or once, you know, Biden settles into presidency, or once Trump wins the presidency, and, you know, it's something. Or when our parents just listen to us and, you know, take us seriously, or whatever it is, fill in the blank. Everybody, it seems, is on the edge waiting for something to happen so that they can go, okay, now I can get on with my life and be happy. So maybe just share here, what have you been waiting for? A lot of the community inside this group, I Love You Me community, and for those of you on YouTube, if you want to join the community on Facebook or on Mighty Networks or on Telegram, just go find it, I Love You Me community. It'd be fabulous to have you. But those of you that are in these groups, it feels like this nail-biting ride, and everyone's like waiting every moment of the day, day after day after day, waiting for the next exciting installment, so that they know what's going to happen in the world, and really as if their lives depended on it, or as if your future depended on it, or as if your happiness depended on it. And right there is the problem, because I see so many people really anxious, like biting their nails, not sleeping, just going out of their minds, or one minute being like, yay, it's all going to work, and then the next minute going, oh no, it's not working, that's not what I thought was going to happen, and being really, really upset about it. And in some instances, really too much for people. And some of you, it's pushing you over the edge, testing your limits, driving you nuts, and you're not having any peace. And so for all of those of you that are feeling this, or you know people that are, this is why I'm making this live for you tonight, this video for you. So let me just first share a personal story, okay, and put this into context. And in fact, to be honest, I was going to tell you one, but I've got gazillions of stories, how I have wanted something so bad and my nervous system is up. I'm busy, I'm making myself busy trying to get something done, or I'm thinking about it, I'm fixating about it. And actually, I'll just share with you how I got here, where I am in this beautiful home with the love of my life now. I was so fixated on, first of all, wanting it to happen, wanting my dream house, wanting to move out of the place I was in, wanting to live this certain lifestyle, wanting to break free of the limitations in my environment, wanting to be with the partner that I'm with now and we weren't together, and just wanting to feel that sense of I'm in the relationship and all my dreams are gonna come true and I'll live happily ever after, and then I'll be happy. Right? And you know where this is going, and yet we know where it's going. It's a classic, and yet are you still doing that? And it might not be to do with your home or your love life, it's probably to do with something else, but bear with me here, because it was almost like the more I wanted it, the further it felt like I was away from it. And when I see that in somebody else's energy field, when they're really holding on, they've got an attachment, they want something so bad, their energy field literally acts like a magnet, and a force field pushes, an invisible force field pushing away that which you're really wanting to come closer to. And for some of you, it might be this new earth, fifth dimension, new paradigm, reality of love and peace in the world. Or, you know, people getting back their freedom, people getting back their control or their ownership of money or their, I don't know, you name it, you fill in the blank. So I see that energy field literally acting like a repulsion magnet pushing things away. So then going back to my story, this is how I then dealt with it. I got so in pain wanting something that didn't seem to be happening that I go, okay, I'm going to give up. And that's part of the process. Usually you go, okay, enough, I've had enough. But it's a bitter upset. Life doesn't work out for me. I don't get what I want. It's not fair, that kind of a feeling. And then you'll go through that, or at least I went through that, and I used I Love You Me method to help myself come through that. And it works really quite well and really very quickly. And so then the next phase was like, okay, I'm just not going to be attached. I'm just going to let it go, let it go, let it go. I don't need that. I'll do something else instead. I'll build myself. I'll build my life, and I'll, you know, kind of create what I want to create. And even that, it still felt like I was at odds with something, because I've still got the longing, except now I'm trying to pretend that I don't want it, you know, as if that's going to save me from the pain that I was feeling when I did want it and I wasn't getting it, right? Do you recognize this in yourself? And so I had to recognize that in myself and go, you know what, I'm kind of kidding myself right now. I'm not being honest. And I had to look inside of myself for where I was attached to certain something happening. And instead of focusing on what I wanted to happen, I reversed the process and went back to the point inside of me that wanted it to happen so badly. And I met that part of me. And that part of me was just like, not actually needing what I thought she needed. This part of me actually just needed me. To be fully present needed my consciousness, my love, my attention, my focus and love, and the kind of connection that I was searching for. So I was searching for a feeling of love and connection and thriving, right? And the happily ever after. And I went and met that part of me that wanted that so badly. And instead of kind of keeping her waiting, I just took the shortcut and said, I'm going to give that to you right now, in this moment right now. Not the external environmental reality, but the actual essence of the reality, that thing that we're actually all searching for, which is that connection within, that love within, that deep empathy. I hear you, I feel you, I get you, I understand, I'm with you, and I'm with you no matter what me. And through doing that self-love conversation, the attachments literally start transforming. So instead of it being like a live wire that's super sensitive and twitching at every little email or every little thought or every little thing, every little trigger, is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? Or this great big long rope of a lifeline, like my life depends on this and I've built it up into this great big rope. Could be something like that for you. So instead of it being that rope or wire of connection, the energy started moving and transforming. So I didn't cut it off, as a lot of people will say, if you just detach from outcome, get unattached, just cut the ties, cut the cords. You can't really do that with lifelong beliefs or deep-seated wants and needs and desires. It's not so easy just to cut something off. And actually in the world of energy, which everything is, you literally cannot cut energy. It's not possible. You can only see it for what it is, meet it for what it is, get conscious of it, fully present in the moment, conscious. And that begins the transformational process. And then with that empathy and compassion of understanding the pain and what's not okay, it begins to transform some more because it's been seen. It's not left dangling, waiting, wanting, wishing. And then when you love it, it begins to transform some more to the point where you're no longer stuck with a painful attachment, but the energy is not an attachment anymore. And it just, all that energy that was trapped and being what's the word I'm looking for? Being exhausted with this connection, wanting it, not wanting it. A lot of energy invested in that. A lot of nervous energy, a lot of pain invested in that. That energy instead was released and came back to wherever it needed to come inside me, inside my energy field, and reset, if you like, completely recalibrated my emotional responses, my mental responses and thoughts and belief patterns, and reset everything. It has a ripple effect through your entire system, and it resets the system. So that what's important is I'm existing right now in this moment, and what matters to me right now? What matters to me right now is creating, is doing something that fills my heart and soul, doing something that brings me simple joy. What matters is being receptive to what the universe wants to give to me, or what life wants to give to me, what my own energy field and higher self is setting up for me. I need to be in a receptive state. And that's what I really notice about any of us who have an attachment going on, is we're so invested in something, in wanting something to happen, we're not actually ready to receive it, even if it did. It's like we're so caught up like in a hamster's wheel that if we were to be given what we want, we're not actually ready for it, and we'd probably destroy it and mess it up somehow, and it would be a painful process. That's definitely been true in my life, when I thought I've got what I wanted, and then when I get it, I realise I don't want it anymore, or it's not what I wanted it to be exactly, and therefore I don't trust it and I don't receive it, and I build up even more barriers to it, right? Because I haven't met that place inside of me and dissolved that whole attachment part inside of myself and become ready in the moment now, and become ready to be a receiver. Completely different experience. It's totally the opposite. So I'm sharing that with you in the expectation, or in the hope that that's going to help. So let's now focus on what you're expecting, what you're attached to. And it could be the same as my story. It could be that when I'm with a certain person, whether it's a friend or a family member or a lover or a fill in the blank, that when this relationship is how you want it to be, everything's going to be fine and you're going to be happy. It could be that you want the political situation to be a certain way so that then you can get on with your life, right? And I'm inviting you right now in this moment just to take a deep breath, a receiving breath, and receiving your spirit breath, receiving this moment breath, and doing a stock take on what that's doing to you. What's the effect that being attached to that outcome is doing to you? And that's the area that you need to be concerned with. What's it doing to you? And I saw a fabulous little meme just before I came on live here. And one of the members of the I Love You Me family, she's a qualified I Love You Me self-coach now, Michelle Fernandez. She had posted up this little meme, and it said, "The new earth doesn't come to you, you create it. It comes through you, you create it." And I was like, how apt is that? Because the new earth is what you're wanting. That new reality, the new life, everything freedom, everything happy, everything easy, that new earth. Everything prosperous, that new earth. That new earth where you're thriving, where you're being fully you. And we think that when we get X, Y, Z, whether it's this leader or that speaker or this relationship or this job title or this amount of money in our bank account or this colour on the walls in our living room, or this car, that when you get that, you are then going to be fulfilled and happy. And let me tell you, my friends, unless you are in that place of, you could call it sacred neutrality, or just in the moment, or just in that love that you are, in that peace that you naturally, innately are, before you put on all these extra layers of stuff, that essence of you that you were when you were born, that pure essence. And I call that unconditional love, that purity, that being in the moment. You come back to being in that place. Let everything, just get unattached. Like, realize it's not working out for you to stay anxious and attached to things. And I know how delusional and painful it can be when you think something's going to happen and it doesn't. It's horrible. So save yourself the suffering of that. Come back home, come back to this unconditional self-love. And from that place, learn to receive. Realize what fills you up that's unnecessary, that's taking up space inside of your mind, your heart, your emotions, even in your body, any baggage that you are carrying, whether you think it's yours or you think it belongs to somebody else that you've taken on. Just clean it out, clean it out, clean it out, and be receptive again. Become empty. And when you become empty and receptive, it's like you're full all the time. You know, it's incredible because you're full of now. You're full of your own essence. You're full of your own inner sanctity and peace and tranquility that's always there. That's not something you have to go out and get. It's innate inside of you. It's everything else is getting in the way. So you do that cleaning and you do that emptying out. And just to affirm to you, I've practiced this over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many things I've done this with in my life. I was such a dreamer, and I just wanted and wished and, you know, dreamt and thought that it would all come to me. And I was really mistaken, and I was in a lot of pain. Got to my 40th birthday and realised, oh my goodness, my life is a mess. And that's when my reset happened. That's when I took stock and said, okay, I'm not going to be dependent on other people taking care of me and saving me and rescuing me, and that I'm just going to, you know, wait for somebody else or something else to make me happy. I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on cleaning out. I'm going to focus on preparing to receive. And when I did that, I did it with lots of different things in my life. And when I did it with my relationship, the relationship that mattered most to me in all the world, and I truly forgave myself, forgave everything, forgave all the pain and all the waiting and all the hurt and everything that had built up over years, and I released the lot, and I was just in a state of love. I was just really in an open, receptive state. And that's when everything arrived. Everything that was my wildest dreams arrived, literally. And I just, you know, walk around in my life every day looking at everything, and it doesn't matter what's going on the news or not going on. It doesn't matter if we're in lockdown or not in lockdown. It doesn't matter what government is saying what. It's like, yeah, it's kind of curious and interesting, but it's like, yeah, open it, close it, done. What, you know, I'm just in this place where I just walk around just continuously happy and in peace. And it doesn't matter what else is happening. And then there was a day, and let me tell you this is really significant. There was a day, maybe a week ago, I think it was last Friday actually, and something happened. It was like an old pain point happened between me and my partner in the relationship, and it was a pretty small one. But you know, that little trigger ignited something bigger in me. And I was really like, oh, I'm out of my peace state. I'm out of that beautiful zone because I was in it. And in that moment, I'm walking around my beautiful home. I'm right next to the love of my life. I'm in the exact same situation that I'm in now today. But it didn't fulfill me. I wasn't like, wow, I'm so lucky. I'm so happy. This is so beautiful. It was like someone had pulled the plugs out, or I'd pulled the plugs out. And I was no longer feeling the joy from any of my dreams come true, my amazing, you know, outcome having happened, not in the way I expected it, by the way, not at all. That was an amazing surprise. And it was a really profound day for me, and it really hit it home big time. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter if I have nothing and no one. I can still be really happy in that place, and I have been very, very often in my life. Or I can be with the love of my life. My family is perfect. Everything is working. Everything. Money, home, weather, everything could be perfect. And yet I cannot be fulfilled and happy. So really, has it got something to do with any external situation? And the answer is no, guys. It really, really doesn't. Reality is not what happens around you. It's what you are feeling inside. And so obviously I had this amazing realization again, and I did the I love you me method on it, and it just dissolved and transformed, and I got a gold nugget out of that. I got several gold nuggets actually. And that's the beauty of any disharmony that arises inside of yourself, is when you actually go and look and pay attention to any form of disharmony. Because we live in a dualistic reality, on one side there's pain and darkness and suffering, and on the other side of that is the gold, is the wisdom, is the good juicy stuff, juicy life stuff that really kind of gives you that sense of thriving and well-being. So that was my day last week, and I just wanted to share that with you. Happiness is in your heart, and I know that's not a new message, but my goodness, don't we all need reminding, okay? It is only here. So if you're thinking about, a lot of the guys in this group certainly are waiting for the big news to come out in America that we're all now going to be free, and we're free of the New World Order, and we're free of the Great Reset and that whole dark cabal story that's going on, and everybody just wants that moment of like, yes, we're winning, it's all happening, everything that's been predicted, all the videos that I've been watching, all the posts and all the letters and everything I've been reading, and it's going to happen. And then we notice, okay, we get to a certain date and it didn't quite happen how people thought it was going to happen. Or it could be, with the vaccination, people are taking it thinking it is going to be the end of COVID, and you will no longer be able to get it, and you'll be free to go outside, and you won't have to wear a mask, and you'll be safe. And yet that's also not the case. That is just not the case. It's delusional. The whole lot is delusional. Do you understand that? All of it is like watching a play, and the set can change at any time. The lighting can change at any time. The actors can be substituted at any time. Now, if we're caught up and attached to what's going on in that reality, we get bashed around like a little fish in a giant ocean with humongous waves getting tossed and tossed and tossed and bashed and thrown against the rocks. And, that's not where you're meant to be, my friend. That's not the new earth. That's not love. That's not the right place for you to be. And yes, you can be fascinated and be interested, but just not attached to it rescuing you or giving you what you think you need it to give you. Just watch it like a play. Be curious. Go and have a break. Go outside. Hug the trees. Roll on the ground. Have some fresh air. Call a friend. Meditate. Dance. Sing. Paint. Do something else. Breathe. Do I love you me? Do something. And just let it roll by without having to jump in and get bashed around by it. Because sooner or later, you know what's going to happen. Going back to my story, I know exactly what's going to happen. The more unattached you become, genuinely unattached, and not that you don't care, but you're just not attached to the outcome, because the outcome you want is already inside of you, and you've got the outcome within you. You've got the very best outcome of any situation ever possible inside of you. That's where the new earth is. That's where you want to be in fifth dimension. You want to be in those super high frequencies. That's where you need to be. Okay? You can unfollow everything and it will still happen or not happen. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Now, what makes the biggest difference is you tuning you. That's the best work you can do. In fact, through my perception, through my eyes, that's the only work you need to do. And it doesn't even need to be called work. It could just be called living, breathing, being in peace, being you. That's all that you need to focus on. And as you go deeper into your own inner sanctity, into your own inner sovereignty, into your own inner essence, and you're smelling the roses inside of you, eventually you'll open your eyes one day and you'll go, oh wow, my external reality now matches my internal reality, because you've prepared yourself to receive it, and therefore you'll see it everywhere. Joe Bloggs down the road might not see it everywhere. He might not understand it. He might be in a totally different reality. But you, my friend, will have put yourself in an empowered state, in a self-responsible, self-evolved, self-awakened state, so that whatever state you are in, you are then attracting, not repulsing what you want away from you, or repelling rather, but you're now open and attracting that beautiful vibration back to yourself. And it will be mirrored in your reality everywhere you look. It's like a light switch, right? If your light is on, everything's bright. If your light is off, everything is dark. Really simple way of feeling about it. So make sure your light switch is on. Just get your little heart, turn up the dimmer switch, go to your third eye of consciousness, turn up the dimmer switch, put the light on, give yourself a lot of love and a lot of hugs. And if you want to share and you want to make an impact in the world, put your vibration out into the world by doing what you've been designed to do. Could be singing, writing, teaching, talking, could be anything. Only you know what your message is or what your urge is to create. Now listen to that from deep within you. And as you are being more you, you will expand that feeling and you'll start to create and do things, and it will start to emanate and it will start to go out to others. And then you'll be having people going, hey, I kind of like what you're doing. And they'll be feeding into you and supporting and communicating and joining in with your reality. So your beautiful reality is not necessarily like your little one-man bubble. No, as you expand and express your beautiful essence, you will attract other people just like you, who care about the things that you care about, who probably and possibly even want to learn from you. And you will find your new groove, like not carrying on doing the same old stuff that you've always done, thinking one day the world will change and I won't have to do this anymore. No, it's like there's this beautiful moment called now that's exactly right for you to make these decisions, to decide to be in bliss inside yourself and follow your own joy. And then you will attract and create that outside of you in so many different ways. It's just the most beautiful thing. And I've seen a lot of people doing that recently, finding their own message, finding their own voice, showing up, sharing their art. Whatever it is that brings you joy, just put it out into the world. And that's how we impact. That's how collectively together we enjoy this reality and we create the new one. And in a way, it's not really new. It's always been there. It's just we're discovering it for the first time. It's kind of always been waiting for us, like that piece inside. It's just waiting for us to tune in and tap in and get in alignment with what already is. So it's not hard work. And in fact, the less work I've done, the less effort I've made towards striving towards anything, the more I've received. Like it's amazing how much I receive on a daily basis from life. From people in so many different ways, and I literally, I used to work my ass off, guys, and I really don't do that anymore. I just sail through, and it's amazing. So I wish my version of that for you, whatever your version of that is, I wish that for you. And maybe this story and my talk tonight will give you some inspiration. You can just switch off all that other stuff and come back here and really create the life by living it, not waiting for it. So I hope that's helpful, darlings. I'm going to check out now before my phone battery dies. But I love you super much. Do let me know how you feel and what's going on for you down in the comments below, because I always read them. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday on Self Love Talks. And please do share this. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. I really love seeing the community grow there on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support and love, everybody. And keep your messages coming in. It's really wonderful to hear from you all. And just keep putting your own self-love first and make you happy. So peace out. Mwah. Love to all of you.